Jack Doherty's ex-girlfriend, McKinley Richardson, has just come forward with explosive allegations that could have serious legal consequences for him. We're talking about some truly disturbing accusations, the kind that could land someone behind bars. McKinley appeared on a podcast alongside another one of Jack's former acquaintances, Camila Eruo, both of whom claim to have been a part of his manipulation and exploitation. And let's just say the two didn't hold back when exposing what they described as his dark and twisted behavior. So let's break it all down.
That first week, something horrible happened to me. He had a hometown friend there, that he had known. Staying with
In the house.
In the house.
Okay.
We ended up going to bed. And I just remember waking up and his hand was in my pants. I was in the middle of him and Jack. And I just felt so violated and scared. I woke up freaking out. I pushed him away from me and I'm like trying to tap Jack. And I'm like, Jack. And he's drunk as shit. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm pushing this guy off of me and he doesn't care. I turned. He just is saying, I'm gonna fuck you right now. And I woke him up and Jack woke up and I was like, get him out of here. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's trying to hump me from the back while I'm talking to Jack, and Jack is awake. And Jack is like, bro, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? Go. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking her right now. I pulled Jack aside. I was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, do you remember what happened last night? He's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was like, he did that to me. Like, and I explained it in detail, and he was like, holy shit, I remember. He was like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry. He was hugging me. I don't know what conversation they had with him, but from that day forward, I had never seen ever again. Like, Jack fully cut him off. It eventually came out, like, later on while Jack and I were dating for over a year, he had texted Jack and apologized and said that he was on drugs that night and he was tested positive. And he said, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. I was on drugs. No, I don't know.
Fucking sick.
I know.
In that clip, McKinley recalls a disturbing incident involving one of Jack's friends from back home. She explained that the three of them, Jack, his friend, and herself, were lying in the same bed when the friend began touching her while she was asleep. It's beyond disgusting and honestly hard to even repeat. What makes it worse is that no one ever reported it. Not that night, not the next morning, not ever. Something that serious should have been dealt with legally, because when it's ignored, it only gives that person the chance to do it again. And trying to blame it on being under the influence is just a pathetic excuse. No matter what you've taken, you never touch someone without consent.
Why was I with him? But he wasn't. He was amazing. And I want people to know that, like, I didn't put myself in a toxic situation, but he was so different in the beginning. And I know, like, what people see of him online, like, it's obviously negative and all this stuff, but that wasn't who I fell for. It was not that. It was a protector. It was a provider. It was someone that had respect for me and, just made sure I was okay, and opening the car door for me, taking me out to dinner. Very respectful. It couldn't get better. I was like, these people love social media. They do fun skits all the time. Like, he was involving me in videos without having OnlyFans, a little bit here and there. Like, they would have like a little skit and then it was fun, and I would be like, oh, that was funny, and it had nothing to do with, the whole OnlyFans side of things.
Next, McKinley talked about how, in the beginning, Jack seemed like a completely different person. Sweet, caring, and genuinely loving. And honestly, that's how a lot of toxic relationships start. At first, the guy puts in all the effort, acting like the perfect boyfriend, saying all the right things, taking her out to nice dinners, buying gifts, making her feel special. But once he feels like he's won her over, the mask starts to slip. The affection fades, and what's left is the real version of him, controlling, manipulative, and toxic to the core.
He walks downstairs and just starts laughing, like, with his friends, and I was just like, like, what's going on? He was very awkward hugging me, and I was like, this doesn't, like, seem right. Like, I'm confused. As soon as everyone wakes up and, like, the girls come to me, even his own friends, everyone that worked for him came up to me and said, listen, Jack hooked up with a girl last night. I don't want you to freak out.
Oh, yeah, me. I'm not gonna.
Right.
What are you
talking about? I just flew across the fucking shin.
Right. That's what I was really upset. Like, my stomach, like, I felt like a pit. I was like, damn, bro. But then they were like, but it's okay because he said that he thought it was you. Yeah.
Out of every fucking excuse ever, like actually ever, I'd never heard of.
No, me neither.
Genuinely. No, you don't get it. I thought it was you.
Right.
No, I her because I thought it was your.
Right.
This next part is honestly unbelievable. McKinley revealed that Jack actually cheated on her, but somehow tried to claim he thought it was her. Like, what even is that excuse? At first, it almost sounds like a joke, but unfortunately, it's completely real. McKinley shared how she flew all the way from Los Angeles to Miami, literally across the country, only to land and find out Jack had cheated, with him trying to brush it off by saying, "Oh, sorry, I thought it was you." It's ridiculous, and honestly, it just shows how little respect he had for her or the relationship.
And he's actually not prescribed even anymore, but that it became a problem with him, especially with the drinking. That's why he got so drunk, because he was, tweaking out on Adderall as well, and that's something you can't mix. So that's why I really looked out for him, and I worried for him because I knew he was taking the Adderall, but he would take it in ways that you shouldn't take it, like popping 2 at once, and you would have that, that feeling of just like bouncing off the walls. That's why he was, so blackout drunk when he would drink. It was that on top of the alcohol, mixing that. It was horrible. There were times where I felt like I had to call an ambulance because he was saying, like, I feel like I'm gonna die, my heart's beating out of my chest. And he would always make jokes about that. He would give it to his employees. He would say, "You'll work better if you take this. You'll be more sharp, you'll be more efficient," like you said. Like he really tried to get a lot of his employees on it because they were doing exactly what he was doing. He needs his filmer to be on Apple. He would want the people he's working with to be on the same page because you're just like go, 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 constant go.
The next thing McKinley revealed was that Jack allegedly has a serious substance problem, specifically with something known as AD, which for context is basically caffeine on steroids. It makes people extremely hyper and erratic, which honestly explains a lot about his chaotic behavior on stream. Now, if he chooses to mess himself up with that, that's his issue. But according to McKinley, he was also giving it to people on his team, and that's where it crosses the line. Handing out unprescribed substances to others is incredibly reckless. Not everyone's body can handle it. Someone could have a dangerous reaction, become addicted, or even overdose. It's not just irresponsible, it's genuinely life-threatening.
And she basically told me, listen, don't freak out, but Jack really wants you to start OnlyFans, and he said that there's no reason for you guys to be together if you're not helping. And I broke down in tears. I was like, wow. Like, everything that he had said to me, like, oh, I know you're my wife because you don't have one, and getting me to go to dinner and try to get me on OnlyFans, but it didn't work. Now it's an ultimatum. He wanted me, when he realized he didn't have the control over me when it came to other people and like what they could say, he realized that he did need to create an ultimatum for me. We ended up going to bed, and I woke up, and that morning he had a contract in hand and he told me to sign it. I didn't even have the opportunity to talk to my parents about it. I was gonna call my mom because my mom was more comforting, in that situation, because my dad obviously didn't want to talk to him about that at all. But I didn't even have time for that or for any legal representation. He gave me the contract, and he basically just said sign it. I read through it, and I didn't like how it said, he owns all of my social media accounts, because again, I had a following. I had 500,000 followers on TikTok. I had over 100K on Instagram. That was something I had built for years, and that was something that I held very close to me. So I was like, I just want to make sure, like, in this contract, do you actually own all of my accounts, even the ones that I have? And then he was like, no, the contract means nothing. Like, we can change anything, but it's whatever. Just sign it. So I signed it. And then first words that came out of his mouth were, "You're now Jack Doherty's girlfriend." And that was the day that we had a label.
Yeah, that's seriously messed up. Jack apparently didn't even call McKinley his girlfriend until she signed a contract to start an OF account, which is already strange enough. But what makes it even worse is what was in that contract. According to her, it stated that Jack would own 100% of her social media accounts. That's not just controlling, that's straight up manipulative. It sounds less like a relationship and more like he wanted total control over her life online.
The second I signed to him and gave him, access to my accounts and all of this stuff, the disrespect started showing. Like, he was not as respectful as he was in the beginning. A dinner, you could forget about it. We never went on dates. We never did anything like how we did in the past. He was strictly just, content. So I was like, how do you keep up with all of this stuff? Like, I'm exhausted. Like, how does your life, like, how do you continue to do this? And he was like, it's all, like, you should try. He's like, you will be successful. I'm not proud of it at all, but I had a horrible addiction dating him because of him telling me I needed to keep up with him. And also, it's like when Jack's face is somewhere, I was always there. I had to keep up with him through a very long period with just not eating and just waking up and taking out. And I weighed 140 pounds when I moved down to Florida. I wasn't eating for like a week at a time. Like, I was just not hungry. I was stressed out. I was depressed.
Man, it just keeps getting darker. Once Jack gained full control over McKinley's career, everything about him changed. The caring, attentive guy she first met completely disappeared, replaced by someone cold, rude, and manipulative. He stopped putting any effort into the relationship. No more dates, no more affection, because at that point, he didn't need to. She was legally bound to him. And to make things worse, he allegedly became addicted to AD, convincing himself it would help him work harder and earn more money. It's like he traded love and respect for control and greed.
We would just, be with each other the entire time and just, be like, I wish this wasn't happening in our house. Like, I wish I could have peace. I wish I could have, be able to go downstairs and sit on the couch and have a nice dinner, but it was not that. And his whole entire life turned into streaming every single day, 24/7. And it wasn't him being nice to me. It was constant disrespect. And that was something that was very, very new. Like, I was like confused. I'm like, where did the person I met go? Like, where did the person go that stood up for me and made me feel safe? And, but again, this is all masked because he said it was just for content. But some of the worst things happened to me. Not everything was caught on camera that happened, but a big chunk of things were filmed when I didn't even want them to be filmed. A lot of emotional things happened to me, traumatic events.
She went on to describe how living with Jack was nothing short of a nightmare. His house was basically chaos 24/7, constant streams filled with people fighting, yelling, and arguing nonstop. It wasn't a home, it was a circus. Honestly, it's hard to even imagine how McKinley dealt with that environment. Having random people running around your house at all hours, pulling wild stunts for content, anyone would lose their mind trying to live through that.
He flipped an entire golf cart on top of me on purpose, and it was for a clip. I know that because he was trying his best to flip it. I was in so much pain. He thought it was not that big of a deal. This, again, happened on camera, and he was just worried about getting the good clip and seeing it on TikTok, not making sure I was okay. I knew I needed to go to the hospital when this happened to me. But he had prior obligations to go on a yacht with Antonio Brown, so it wasn't a priority. I was like, Jack, I need to go to the hospital. I was crying. I couldn't even walk. My back was so bruised up, and like my whole entire spine was just bruised. And my neck, it had hit my neck. It literally could have killed me. The way it fell on top of me, it fell on my side. The back of the cart went at the back of my neck, and I crunched over, and then it hit my back. He said that he thought it broke my neck. And I'm like, if you really thought that and you're like not worried about me, that's insane. He tells me like he's going to end stream. He's not going to go on the boat. And I have all of the people that were with him, Antonio Brown included, just saying like, oh, you're going to be fine. Like, just go on the boat. You need a massage. And I was like, that's not what I need.
She also shared a shocking story about the time Jack flipped a golf cart while she was in it. Even though she was hurt and clearly needed medical attention, they never went to the hospital. Instead, Jack chose to go on a yacht trip with another guy because it was already scheduled, completely prioritizing his stream and plans over her health. It's honestly disgusting behavior and shows just how little he cared about her well-being.
Huge thing was me getting robbed at gunpoint in Compton. I get out for a second, it instantly like gets shut down, and then I go into the Sprinter. And I told them, I was like, listen, I think the third spot we're going to, people know we're live streaming. This is very dangerous because takeovers, it's not only just stolen cars, it's stolen guns, it's people in masks, people are stealing things because no one's getting caught. When you're in this situation, like nobody is getting caught because there's so many people and so many people have masks on, nobody knows. So I told them, I was like, I think I'm going to stay in the car for the third one. I don't feel safe going out there. And I was sitting in my seat and I remember looking up and making eye contact with two guys in shiesties. And I was like, oh, I hope they can't see me. The lights are on in here. I need to figure out how to turn the lights off. So I get up. I turn the lights off. And then I go in the very, very back so that I'm not like near the windshield and they can't see through. And I just laid down. I'm hearing helicopters, I'm hearing gunshots, I'm hearing fireworks, I'm hearing every type of thing, freaking out, so much anxiety. And then I hear the car door open and I pop my head up. I'm like, okay, everyone's back, like finally time to go. When I looked up from the seat, I make eye contact with a guy I'd never seen before in a surgical mask. Like it wasn't the two guys in shiesties that I had seen. It was a guy with a bag, a gun, and a blue surgical mask with gloves. And I looked at him. He said, "Who's in this party bus?" I didn't think he knew I was in there. So when I popped up and like made eye contact with him, I thought maybe it would spook him and that he would like get out. And then I saw him hop over the seat into the van. And in this van, like you're able to stand up fully straight up. He started running towards me, and I was like, I'm dead. Like this is the time I like either get like killed or something horrible. And I just remember saying like, please, no. Like I just was begging him. I was like, you can have everything like of mine. You can have my purse, you can have my money. I couldn't find my purse anywhere. I was like, where the fuck is it? I was like, please help me find it. I'll give you everything. I completely forgot I had a hoodie on and all my jewelry on. He didn't see any of my jewelry. But in that moment, I would have given everything to him. Like, of course. When you're in that situation, like, you don't know, like, I feel like a lot of people are like, I wouldn't give up my stuff. It's like, no, when you are alone, especially a female, like, in that moment, I was so powerless. Like he could have done anything to me and get away with it. It could have been a stolen gun. He had a mask on. They could have came back to me dead in the car.
This guy actually left his girlfriend stranded in Compton, one of the most dangerous areas in California, maybe even the entire country. She was robbed at gunpoint and nearly lost her life. And when he finally showed up, he treated it like nothing had happened. He started vlogging the whole thing as if it were just another day, completely ignoring how terrifying and traumatic it was for her.
And I was like, please shut the cameras off. Like, I cannot, like, please take me off this camera. And he refused. He refused to shut off the camera. He refused to stop his live stream. He was laughing about it, saying like, well, you're going to wake up tomorrow and like, you're going to wake up to all these TikToks and like these viral clips. And I'm like, Jack, I don't care. I'm like, everything is content. Like, I don't know what isn't anymore. Like, even this, like, you can't just feel a little bit of empathy for me after going through that.
It's pretty clear Jack didn't care about anyone or anything unless it benefited him or helped his content go viral. Everything he did seemed to revolve around views, clicks, and attention, not the people around him.
So I was very insecure, and also he would, talk about my body and body shame me, constantly. That was something that I dealt with that for years. He would just say like how ugly and skinny my body is and how he wishes I looked how I used to look. He would bring up my old Instagram pictures and say, I want you here.
It's pretty clear Jack didn't care about anyone or anything unless it benefited him or helped his content go viral. Everything he did seemed to revolve around views, clicks, and attention, not the people around him.